What are you doing? Hello, everybody. Good evening. How are you all doing this evening? It's sweltering here in Gauteng. Yeah, on this Tuesday. Sweltering. Yeah. So the name of the stream is Remembering Firsts, and I've had quite a bit of time to reflect. Obviously, I think we all have, with what's happening in the world currently. And I think it's bringing up a lot of memories for us, and it's making us contemplate what we want from our lives and who we are. So I decided to do a stream called Remembering Firsts, and I was just pondering about what those firsts were. So, like, I remember, I think one of the first memories is me like scrounging around for a dummy, or me being very brave. I think I was 3 months prem, and I had an unusual attachment to my dummy. And I remember deciding, no, I'm old and big enough. I was probably about 2 years old, and I decided, no, I'm gonna chuck it in the bin. And I made a huge effort. No, I'm gonna do it. Chucked it in the bin. And I sort of remember waddling away and going, I want it back. And I'll never forget that sort of, obviously I washed it off, but I don't know if I remember the taste of it from then on. But yeah, it got easier from then. But yeah, what were your first memories? I know that sounds a little bit crazy, sort of the dummy thing, but I mean, also like your first toy, or you'd been waiting something that you really wanted for your birthday or for Christmas. And also I remember getting my first Supergirl outfit, and that was tons of fun. And I remember being so distracted in grade 1, like the whole day my Supergirl outfit was in my kit bag, and I was waiting. And of course I was very distracted during the whole day, because I'm like fantasizing and daydreaming about I'm gonna like go into my Supergirl outfit, and I'm gonna have such fun at aftercare, and it's gonna be great. And I put on my little outfit, and the teacher just looked at me and went, okay, now that makes sense. So yeah, what were you sort of all what were your first memories that you can remember, like good times, like stuff from long ago? And even we'll go through them like as you go on in life, and like remember, like maybe it was your first love. How old were you? Was were you 12? Did you go to the movies on your first date? Did the little boy write you a Valentine's Day card? I just want to say, how's Elizabeth? Hello, Jeannie. Like sort of what were your memories? I think it's so important to remember who we were, and who, sort of where we've come from. Because life's just changing, and our lives are so different, especially for our kids or just day to day. It's crazy. And anyway, so I was talking about my little Supergirl outfit. Oh yes, and I had these awesome little red, like leather red boots. And I think I grew out of them till the toes nearly burst open. I loved my little red boots. I loved them. They were awesome. And I remember our school used to have socials. I don't know if any of you guys had socials at your schools, but in those days, like they'd have it, I think, on a Friday night dance, or certain grades, and you'd meet people from all other schools, and it was awesome. It was absolutely. I've got something in my eye, and too much makeup smudge. Oh no! Anyway, and like you used to obviously like the boy that was there, or the girl, and it was just tons of fun. And I remember we played this game. Boys and girls stood in a row, like right opposite each other, and we had to pass an orange, like to each other, like like this motion. It was tons of fun. And if you dropped, I don't know what, or you got kicked out if you dropped the orange or something like that. It was, and they also had like the best dance competition. And no, those were the days. Like, I really remember things like that. And it just brings us back to kind of the situation we're in now and how we have to concentrate. Oh, there we go. Air Force One flying overhead. So yes, hello cats, lovely, lovely. Was that done in the 60s or 70s? We had discos. Yes, yes, yes. So I remember like Boys High, was it? Yeah, Boys High used to have socials, I think, when we were like in the 90s. And then like we had little discos, yes. Like remember those mirror balls and the music. Oh my soul, like Duran Duran. And also I remember a time when you'd go to aftercare and they'd put on V. Who remembers the original V? Like how freaky was that? That was also memories, and watching scary movies and Nightmare on Elm Street. Like these are all the memories of your childhood. And speaking about movies, I remember going, I think it was at a tennis court or a hall, and they put up a massive projector and we watched Top Gun. And I think you could go to the movies for like 50 cents or 2 rand or something. I'm giving away my age here. But and we all used to congregate and then watch Top Gun. And of course we just thought Tom Cruise was just the sexiest thing ever. And yeah, that was tons of fun. Oh yes, Kat says Depeche Mode. Oh, I love Depeche Mode. Little Girl, I love that song. In fact, I like a lot of their stuff. Jeannie says, yay, school discos were awesome. I want mirror ball now. Oh yes, disco, disco, ooh, ooh, disco, disco, ooh, ooh. No, that was tons of fun. Oh, Douglas has a great studio and sound system, but I want a mirror ball in there. No, go for it. I don't even know where you could probably find them. You could probably order it from China online, or God knows, like, yeah, they're definitely there. And I mean, so there was, yeah, watching Top Gun in those big, big halls, and obviously the drive-in. I mean, who remembers going to the drive-in? Anybody? What was your first experience about drive-ins? And you had those funny, or going to a Casbah. What was a Casbah? Or like a rodeo where you drive in and you'd order your food and your food would come, and like that was just crazy, and it was such an experience. And also, I think another good memory was like the fashion was just crazy. Remember bell bottoms back in the 90s? That was tons of fun. So yeah, I'm sort of getting a little bit sidetracked. As usual, who knows me? Elizabeth says, can remember going to drive-in and watching movies. Oh yeah. And now they have it out in the stars. I've seen people are advertising for it, and that's kind of cool. I know a school in our neighborhood organized one a few years ago for kids, and they'd worked so hard, and the blinging rain rained it out. But nou wag, ek wou 'n storie getel het. So yeah, like just in those days, life was so much simpler, you know. And also having your first, like maybe your first toy that you wanted for Christmas. Or I remember wanting a bike so badly. And eventually, I think on my 10th birthday, like a real proper BMX bike. And I got a BMX bike. And it was pink and it had a bell. I didn't have a basket though, but it was tight. And I used to like pedal away on my little bicycle, up and down from school into my mom's work. That was tons of fun. Ooh, Avril says going roller skating on Saturday night. Wow, that's awesome. Where would you do that? That's kind of cool. I think a lot of things have come back, like a lot of retro stuff. So another friend of mine, also, she was big into roller skating. Yeah, and she would roller skate everywhere. I mean, and remember those shoes you used to get you, like if you had like proper rollers. Oh, and ice skating, rollerblade, like roller skating. The ice rinks. We had a massive ice rink here in Pretoria at Stellant. That was tons of fun. Oh, I think that led me to meeting a boy who I probably had my first kiss with back in the day. And then they'd have like all the dancing, and then you'd have couples time, and you'd go around the ice rink. Like these are honestly cool memories that we need to cherish. I know people are like having a cucky time at the moment. But I think if you look back and know that where we've come from and where we are today, this too shall pass. Like, things have to get better. So yeah. Oh yes, cat stalking. The Walkman. Oh, I so wanted a Walkman. I think eventually I got one. And they had those thin little like metal earphones heads with the sponge, and you could still hear everything. You used to plump it like real loud. Oh yes, and who remember? My dad had one of those big 3-4 layer stereos with a record player, and then it had like one of those the silver with this big silver. I don't know what's going on. Are they practicing for the Air Force? Are we at war? Are we at war? So anyway, sorry guys, lots of air traffic. Also like the hi-fi systems and records. I mean, oh yes, that takes me back. I used to have like little records, and it was Rose Red and Snow White, and like you'd put on. I remember learning how to put on a record, and the needle had to go down, and if you missed it, went, it kind of like scratched. And it's like, now that I think, I haven't thought about record players. I mean, yeah, you see them and you think, oh, it's not the same. But I don't know, what records did you guys have as kids? Was it like any Afrikaans ones? Oh, Jeannie says Mario was fantastic. Oh, Game Boys. Was Mario on a Game Boy? Yeah. And I remember playing, what was it? Nintendo, I think. And Circus. I don't know if Nintendo, I can't remember. I just know all the boys played it. And they'd always invite me over, and I'd sit there, and then like I'd try and do the first one, and I'd maybe make it through the first round and then suck at it. I don't know. It was just not cricket for me. I've never really been a gamer as such, but my son is, and I enjoy some as he's into like lots of cool games. Like, yeah, just that, how kids have become so addicted to screens. But so were we. I think not that like we were not addicted to screens, but like to watch our favorite cartoons on a Saturday morning. Like, we were there, we were up at 7 o'clock, come rain or shine, we were watching KTV or whatever it was. That was our ritual, Elizabeth says a cat from Cape Town to Joburg with train. Oh wow, that's an experience. Sure. Like, yes, like going on your first trip, whether it was by sea or train, or if it was, I remember first time going on a plane. Oh, that was incredible. Like having that feeling and that lift off, like, and having your heart go into your throat. So that was tons of fun. And also your first time on a roller coaster. Like, these are still things we can do. And I think people have gotten so bogged down with this whole lockdown nonsense that they're forgetting what there still is to do. And things will open up again eventually. Maybe not in the first half of this next year, but definitely I scheme in a year's time. It has to. We can't continue like this. And I think it's so important to remember those firsts, to remember the first time you liked a boy and he liked you too, or the first time you liked a boy and he didn't like you, and how much that hurt, and so much how that hurt. Okay, I'm missing comments here. Yeah, going on to sleep on the train. Jeannie says we still go ice skating at the Grove. Oh wow. First time I held a boy's hand, ha ha ha, on the ice rink, listening to King of My Castle. Oh, brilliant. Oh gosh, remember that song. Oh, I loved it. Kat says, sleeper train, remember our trip from Pretoria to Durban. Oh wow, okay. That's incredible. When were you in Pretoria, Kat? Okay, cool. My hometown. And Elizabeth, Kat from Cape Town to Joburg. Yeah, I think I read that. Sorry, people. Kat, I had so many, even the alphabets. All right, fantastic. Yeah, those records. Yeah, they were great. And it's so funny how they've all come back now. Yes. So yeah, just some of those things. Oh yes, Christmas beds. Yeah, watching TV. Yeah, I know. Having your cousins all over and watching movies and getting, waiting by the Christmas tree. I mean, I'm Jewish and I know this. Waiting for Father Christmas to come drop the presents, and then you can open them early on Christmas morning, or some people open them on Christmas Eve. I don't know, what are your traditions? Are you guys looking forward to Christmas this year? have you decided to change your patterning of how you give gifts? Is this something, obviously, with financial constraints? I think a lot of people are trying to conserve, and also how things have become so expensive. Yeah. So I'm just getting a couple of notifications here. So yeah. Kat says adventure is better than boys. Hooyah! Yes. And oh yay, Rosemary's here. Christmas beds with all the pets are the best. Oh yes, I think Rosemary, you still do that. So yes, that's awesome. Oh right, and Kat says little forts, best ever. Yes, like you'd build with the couches and the chairs, and you get your mom's sheets or your duvets, and you'd build like huge tents and castles under couches. And if you had a sleeper couch, we had a sleeper couch that you could fold up and over, and that used to be my space. And my cat would like jump on the couch and try and paw me from outside the couch, and we'd play like a game of cat and mouse. Like, yeah, I haven't even thought about that in like 20 years, longer, 30 years. Oh, my soul. Wow. No forts outside in the ground. Lol. No, sure. Not today. But there are some people who camp outside in their gardens still. I know there are a couple of friends of mine in Houghties, his kids. I mean, it's very safe where they live. Well, and they decided to let the kids sleep outside, and yeah, they had a whale of a time. And I think camping is just such a good experience for any kid. I can't wait to go back to the bush. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Love the bush. In fact, I love any road trip. Any road trip. It's awesome. And yeah, probably going down to KZN. Yeah, go and swim in the warm, lovely sea. It's going to be blistering hot, but I think it should be great. Okay, we've gone off topic. So like, okay, your first bike, your first pet. What was your first pet? I had a cat. I had a black Persian cat called Harold. Very ordentlich, very. And my mom and I ended up moving to these very tall apartments here in the CBD. She worked for the government back then. And they put us in one of the government social housing back then, which was really incredible. Okay, they seriously, I don't know if they're practicing for an air show or someone's coming to visit. So we're in between like a lot of air bases where I stay, and we haven't heard this much activity in a really long time. So something is happening. Either someone's either after Bushiri or something's going down. I don't know. But something's happening. Alrighty. So Jeannie Morkel says lots of dogs. Kat says mine was a bunny. Oh, Nunu, that's so sweet. Yeah, I know. What's his name? Roman Kabernak's just gotten a bunny. For his little girl. So yeah, they are so cute. I don't know how people. I worked for an Italian restaurant, and I was telling the story last night. I used to forget that we actually served rabbit on the menu at this Italian restaurant. It was like, to me, but apparently it's a real delicacy. Like, well, not necessarily. I suppose Italians and Mediterranean people have eaten bunnies and things for hundreds of years. It was probably a delicacy. But so I walk in, and the staff sort of like play a little joke on me. And I walk in, they're like, Ruth, come here, come here. I'm like, what's it, ladies? What's happening? What's cooking today? And truth, Bob, there's this pink, frozen bunny. And first I thought it was a mold. Like I thought, are they just going to pour chocolate over it? And ta-da, there's a massive big Easter bunny. Holy balls. It's a real frozen rabbit. I was like, oh, no, like, I don't want to see that. And I still think of it today, and it like grifts me out. But the fact that it looked so perfect, that's just horrible. But yes, so I love bunnies. They're awesome, and I know their teeth get really long, and that's why they need lots of hay. Ace is off to Dubai. Yeah. Go Rosemary. Yeah. Bye. Yeah. By the way, do they know where Bashiri went yet? Have we heard? Again, listen. Something's happening. Something's happening. It hasn't been this busy. In fact, I was thinking about it today. Like September, usually they've got the air show here at the Waterkloof Air Base in Pretoria. And yeah, no, there's definitely some action happening. Like usually we get a lot of air traffic, but this is like, especially during lockdown, there's been nothing. Hey, wait, you've got that airplane app. You can see the, oh yeah, you've got that airplane app. You can actually, there's an app that can actually tell you where your person's flight is. Yeah, flight radar. It's kind of cool. And you can track the flight number of the plane and where it is, like traveling to. I think it even works overseas or South Africa. Like I know when my son came back from Cape Town last year, December, we could track where his plane was and we arranged like leave after Christmas dinner to go and fetch him. Hey, the Pet Zoo Film Cruise here. Hello. Every night, a bed full of pets with hands and feet cuddling in multitask. Cannot disappoint any of the crew, you know. No, 100%. Like my little one, I've got a little scoodle, Scotty versus poodle, cross poodle. And she's very diligent. Like she's very well behaved. 8 o'clock is bedtime. And then in the morning, she'll get up. She doesn't want to go to the loo first. She first wants cuddle with mommy. And then she scratches on the bed, and then I've got to pick her up, and then she lies like above my head, and then we have a little cuddle. It's too sweet. It's really become a routine for her. Kat says vivacious. Seriously, vivacious more accurate. Okay, I don't know what your oaks are saying. It's all good. Kat, but Bunny was mauled. I won't get over it. Oh, dogs are vicious, even old ones. Aw, sometimes, but yeah, look, pack mentality is hectic. Even, let's be honest, any pack mentality is vicious. Yeah, but yeah, we won't talk about packs and humans. I mean, it's just pathetic. Yeah, sheeple. Sheeple. So yes, first step in rabbit stew is catching your bunny. Oh yeah, no, for sure. Apparently they are quite hectic to catch. Jeannie Morkel says our white staffy used to chase our white bunnies in the yard. They were so fast I could never tell which one was which. Elizabeth says Apocalypse watched Greenland yesterday. So if you see a lot of planes, then they are heading to the bunkers. What?
Remember Greenland?
Oh, right. What, with a Gerard Butler? Oh, right. But they haven't announced anything on TV or like, I don't know. I'm hoping, like, imagine happening. Who's seen that? We watched it as well. When did we watch it? Saturday night. Yeah. No. And it was also scary. Like, imagine getting this alert. But let's be honest. The one thing in that movie, so he goes back to fetch his kid's medicine. You're in a facility, an Air Force base. Surely they've got medication on hand. And that's the funniest thing. Like, then they take him off, save the kid, and the kid's got all the medication he needs. But if the father had not left, everything would have been fine. But anyway, you know, men for you. We love them. But they want to be heroes. And we're like, we got this. Just, it's like asking for directions. Like, who remembers ever first getting lost or running out of petrol? I had a friend, Oi Gewalt. He would run out of petrol all the time. Like, I'd actually say, okay, I'm not getting into your car before I see where your petrol gauge is. Like the first time running out of petrol, that's just cuck. Or the first time ever having heartbreak. Like, that's, yeah, just, and you feel like it's like the worst feeling ever. And you're never going to get over it. But you do. And that's going to happen with us too. We're all going to get over it, and it's going to be good. Melissa van Defense says, hi. Yeah, Apocalypse. Cats on a farm, so horse, cows, sheep, and chickens. Oh yes, my family had a farm in the Transkei. Now it's all forestry. It's been sold to Sappi, I think. And I think it was 1986, 87, the Transkei had massive floods. They had a massive storm that year. Here comes another plane. Yes, actually comes another plane. Like, how many planes is that in the space of like 3 minutes? Anyway, and
I'm packed. Are you ready?
No, I'm not going anyway. No, I've lost my train of thought. What was I talking about again? Help. Anybody in the comments? What was I saying? Oh, Machis. What was I saying?
Yeah, I'm going back.
Yeah, man. I've really gone blank. It's lovely. It's like when you walk into the shop and you're like, you know you need bread and milk and cheese or mayonnaise or that ingredient that you needed to make the food, and you walk in and you whoop, I don't know, that happens to me so often. Yeah. Oh yes, I was talking about my cousin's farm, my family's farm in the Transkei, and they were totally destroyed by a flood, all the sheep, a lot of devastation. But yeah, they carried on, and that's what we do. Elizabeth says, yes, my husband, Gerard Butler. Oh, he is yummy. Oh, and also Clive Owen. Oh, and my favorite, James McAvoy. Oh, yum. Another redhead, Jeannie. Love him, redheads. I've been trying to like secretly trick TG guy into dyeing. I want it not red, but like an Albany color. So yeah, no, definitely. A cat says, I tried to save all the cats. They breed as fast as rats. No, they do. Apparently, they go on heats every 10 days. In fact, my boss is having someone come around. He's got a whole bunch of cats on his property that they're going to try and catch and sterilize. And then, find homes for them. Or, yeah, he's got places. He knows of places. So it's all good. Jeannie says you need 60-minute checkers app, my lifesaver. Oh right, I haven't. Yeah, Elizabeth also uses that. I don't know if I trust someone to choose my stuff for me. It's kind of weird. I'll get there eventually. I know when I had my foot operation in, when is it? When did I have my foot? Like 2 months, a month, 6. When was it?
September.
Yes, I can't believe it's November. Like the other month, like it was September. Like this year, even though it's been cuck, has gone like that. Honestly, blitz vinnig. Blitz vinnig. It's unbelievable. So yes, yay, redheads. No, oof, no, but gorgeous. And some of the girls have this beautiful red, golden red hair. Oh, I love it. I think it's stunning. Avril Gerber says, aren't they practicing for the air show whenever that is so annoying, so loud? Yeah, no, the air show is usually in September. I don't think they're having an air show. There's obviously something going on. But I belong to one of the Air Force Base. Yo, hier kom nog een. Do you mind? I'm trying to live stream. Oh, there's obviously some commotion. There's going to be in the news. No, that's a big one. That sounds like a carrier. That sounds like a definite carrier. But anyway, oh, Jeannie, Elizabeth says they must add. They must add this, just add smokes to the app. Yeah, no, for sure. Couldn't you buy wine from them as well? Like alcohol? Yeah. Surely if you click on, do they have the alcohol? Because Checkers has liquor stores. So surely if you click on the liquor store, they should be able to have smokes there. I don't know. Do they supply liquor? Probably not, because of the whole over 18 thing. Okay, so Elizabeth, no, very accurate when selecting your products. Really worth using app. Okay. Elizabeth's like, hell no, I'm off to the bunker. Bye. That's rare. I mean, when they have air shows, and obviously they practiced when they had Cyril Ramaphosa's inauguration a few years ago. Like, they literally, this is the line, because the Union Buildings is like also that way, directly ahead of us, and the Air Force Base is that way, so it's a direct line. So I looked up, and there was the jumbo jets and friends, and I make it to Fort Klapperkop. Yes, it's a what? It's a hill. It's not a mountain, Elizabeth. Yes, it's a koppie. And they went to go and stand on the koppie and watch all the planes and the grippins and everything go past. Oh, it's fantastic. Oh, you see those planes, it's unbelievable. But it gets so loud that you can't even have a conversation with people, like when this thing goes past. It's unbelievable. So, yes, they have alcohol, very convenient. Ooh, okay. Well, I actually like overbought. I'm actually like stocked up. I was like convinced we would already be in the second lockdown. Well, just the rest of the world. But let's not, we can't afford it. Our country, we can't afford it. Oh, nice. I bought whiskey and gin this week. Oh, what whiskey do you like, Jeannie? When was the first time you ever got drunk? And what was it with? Was it like, I remember, I think Hunter's Gold. The first time I got properly tipsy, I think it was like on one Hunter's Gold. I think I was probably like 14 years old. And here comes a helicopter. Truly. Can I come to your bunker, Elizabeth? So, yeah, it was a Hunter's Gold. And it was nogal 'n lekker feeling. I remember it well. And I think some boy who liked me tried to like start smooching me, and I think I passed out, but nothing bad happened. He was a good friend of mine, but I think he expected, maybe that's why he gave me the drink in the first place. But yeah, I remember getting tipsy, or the first time you got sick from having too much alcohol, or maybe your first time was getting drunk and puking. It's horrible. It's horrible getting sick from booze, or like when you're so drunk and you had to put your foot down, like you learned that trick when you're drunk and you're lying on the bed and the whole room's going, and then you remember that trick where you put your foot off the bed and step on the floor. Like, I don't know if that works for anyone, but that's usually kak funny, and it works. Or then you just feel nah. Yes, in my 20s, I think I spent most evenings in the bathroom. I just can't hold. I like whiskey. Whiskey doesn't stuff me up, but wine, red wine. Yo, I call George. Oh, he's a good friend of mine if I have lots of red wine. No. Yeah, Kat says, yep, Hunter's Gold in at varsity. And remember hooch, blackcurrant hooch. So I think as a student, I used to go out, have like 2 blackcurrant hooches, and then have like 2 shots of straw rum. And I was great. For the rest of the night, excellent. And it was cheap. Like, I used to think men actually drank beer as like that was their sustenance in liquid. And like, I didn't realize that they actually get pissed on it, because every man you grew up with back in the day drank beer. So yeah, another helicopter, mayday going past. It's weird. It is Ash, what is happening? Gonna check NASA site quickly. Okay, do that. Let's see. But Pretoria, check. Yeah, there's something going on, because we haven't had. Usually there is a fair amount of action, like especially before like March, and in and around September they have a lot of air show stuff. Like Wonderboom and Waterkloof Airface Base have their air shows. But this is insane. We haven't had this much action in a while. Okay, that's a car or a motorbike. Kat says, I did not understand alcohol. Yin, horrible stuff. Yeah, no, look, do you drink something now, Kat? Do you like a little bit of wine? Errol says, my first time getting drunk was beer. Today, can't drink it at all. Now give me red wine and Spice Gold and Coke anytime. Okay, lovely. No, yeah, I think the times and also like, I think the first time, look, I hope most of our first times sexually were positive, but I mean, obviously it's not the case. But I remember, like, yeah, obviously this is a taboo topic, but the first time I was very prepared. I had a first boyfriend, and I was his first and he was my first, and we planned it, and I went on the pill. I was very responsible, very, and because my mother taught me about the birds and the bees from a young age. And I was definitely not going to land up pregnant at whatever young age. And we'd actually had a friend that fell pregnant at 14. But it's all good now. She met up with her adopted son and things are good. So, yeah. But I remember the first time ever trying, like, not knowing what the hell we were doing. And it was actually quite sore. And we thought, no, we'd wait. We'd wait still a little bit longer. Wait till it was the right place. And then his parents went away for, I think, a week in December. And yeah, it happened. And it wasn't so bad. Well, it sort of was. But yeah, so sharing, TMI. But yeah, like our first times. It's and the first time you really fell in love. Yeah, there's nothing better, I think. And what's lovely about falling in love is that it can happen again, and that's so awesome. And I'm very blessed to say I've got an amazing man in my life who I think I've realized now who really, really loves me. And I think as a first, you you realize when someone truly loves you like that. Like they love you not only for who you are physically, but for who you are in your inner self. You're good, you're bad, you're ugly. Like admit there's nothing worse than an ugly cry. Like ugly cry, where it's just tears and makeup and like, and they still love you, and they still love you. I think that is unbelievable. So yeah, oh yes, I could not. Kat says I could not even bear smelling the smell, beer especially. Yuck. Yeah, no, it's a very. No, thank God I didn't get drunk on beer. I think I would have. It would have been horrible. And yeah, and what about? Did anyone ever the first time they got stoned? Like, what was that experience like? I remember the first time I think I got greenies, where you feel a little bit like, and I just want to sleep. But the next time you smoked, I smoked with a friend of mine who's now a game ranger. And we spent the entire afternoon laughing. Like, I just giggled and giggled and giggled and giggled. And that was, yeah, funny. It's like so stupid now, but it makes you light. It makes you happy knowing that you've done stupid shit. And thank God there wasn't the internet back then. Oh, my soul. Everyone says maybe they're looking for the fake pastor and his wife. Oh, yes, already left the country. What's that in the news today? I haven't checked mainstream news. Like, I watch Morning Shot to get my daily news, and I listen to Cliff Central. Was it? Yes. So that's yes. Okay, my bad. Okay, but Sherry's the fake pastor. Yes. There is one plane, Swiss, only in air over Pretoria. No other activities, so it must be private or government. Now this is interesting and needs further investigation. Go, Elizabeth. Go find the conspiracy. Go forward and prosper. Elizabeth said, oh yes, got stoned at a concert at Rotanga Junction. Oh, that must have been incredible. Like riding, did you ride the rides? Hey? Were you on the rides while you were goofed? No, flip. Hey? That would have been hectic. Or when you ever took so I remember DNA in Pretoria, okay, and my first love, who it took me years to get over him. Oh, I was so verliefd. Yeah. And we're good friends. Well, we're friends today. He sends me jokes. It's cool. And he's happily married with 2 kids. So, yeah, and he's ticking off all his goals. So it's awesome. And I bumped into a friend of mine's cousin in one of those chill out rooms. So DNA was like, yeah, it was like a trippy place and a rave place. And I was sitting, and I swear, so like, I'm going to tear off a little piece of paper here, and I'm not lying. So he offered me what's called a acid, California sunshine. And I said, no, I'll like do half. Like I'm always like a bit nervous because drugs and bad, okay? So like, and I swear the little piece of paper could have even been smaller than that. All right. And I was like, what's this gonna do? Nothing. What do you mean? And he said, no, just put it under your tongue and leave it there. I was like, okay, well, how long must this sit you? Well, just sit you 10 minutes. So at that stage, I got bored, got up, and my friends had been dancing the whole time. You know, I would go missioning, I would go plundering. Like I was I made sure like to try and never leave my friends alone because we always went in 3s or 4s because I would plunder. Like I would go off and go and find people and chat to different people. Like I'd always be the one chatting in the bathrooms. Like that was me. I still am like that. So yeah. Huh? And then what happened? Oh, yes. Oh, okay. So they all dancing. Sorry. Me and my brain. And they all dancing. And I'm trying to not miss comments. I get scared like I miss comments. And they were dancing and they were getting tired. And I'm sort of dancing and I'm still not feeling anything. And then they decided, no, that it's time to go home. It was probably about like 3. And I lived quite close to the club. And we walked home. And back in those days, you could. And we ran, I think, the last like 3 blocks all the way home. And I remember walking into the house, and my mom was up, and she was like tapping her foot, like, where and why are you coming home so late or early? Well, I opened that front door and the lights on, and we had a lovely yellow Persian carpet. It's not called yellow, it's something else. I can't think of the name now. Anyway, and this California sunshine hit me so hard, but hectically, like full, like I was tripped out of my mind. And I don't know what to do or how to like handle stuff. So of course now I'm laughing. I'm always laughing, like on the floor, giggling. My mother's like, okay, this is seriously not normal behavior. What the hell is going on here? So my friend's like, no, I'm gonna go make tea, and her and my other friend slept in my room in the two guests, like the two beds that were there, and I had to go and sleep with my mom. What I should have done is gone to the spare room and slept there. Was there? Or maybe there was a sleeper couch in that room. But anyway, and I decided, no, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I should go sleep. Could I not sleep? Oh, my soul. I kept playing with the telephone cord next to the bed. And like, I'd like look at the time, and it felt like hours had gone by. I mean, it was like a minute later. So I had like one of the worst trips ever. I passed out later. I didn't sleep. Eventually, I woke my friends up at like the crack of dawn, like a few hours later. Like, hey, get up now. We need to go. Meanwhile, I didn't sleep. I just wanted a jaw. Petsu Film Crew has said had greenies for 2 days after never again. Yeah. No, what, you've never smoked a bit of green herb after that? Yeah, but they say that's what happens. So I mean, anything your body first takes gives you a bit of a knock. But I still love to smoke a bit of indoor from now and again. I just do, and it's legal now. So, oh, Elizabeth said no, the rides were closed after hours. Shit, scary place. Oh yeah, at night. No, I can imagine. Did they have like one of those old ghost houses? Yeah, I remember Fates. Who remembers Fates? Like school Fates. Like those were so cool, right? And they used to have. I know Girls High still has one, and they have rides, and oh, it was just good old times, man. Oh, was that your first time, Avril, getting stoned at the Rolling Stones concert? Okay, cool. Elizabeth says, can't remember, but I think my first acid trip was, ooh, no, it wasn't Mr. Hoffman, it was a doctor. Wasn't it a Dr. Hoffman? That stuff. Ooh, near Machis. Yeah, I thought I was flying. I was on the back of a motorbike and I was tripping on that stuff. That was rough. That was like, but it was awesome. But I was like, flying. I was not sitting on the motorbike. I was like flying. It was fantastic. And the next day I woke up and I'm like, I'm plastic. Why am I plastic? Like sitting in the loo going, oh my God, I'm plastic. Yeah, crazy stuff. A person would swear the plague came from Africa. There is like minimum activity flights. Oh, we've got a flight tracker in that. Check it that. Very interesting. Thank you, Elizabeth. Also, I made hash muffins and gave it to my mom, and was in my 20s. She totally freaked out and had the best time ever. I think I got my dad gift. Oh, that was tons of fun as well. I got my dad gift, and then I think I made my mom tea once, and she was like, ooh. Yeah, that was funny. But my dad was like, sure, this stuff makes you. He's like, can I have a pool? Shame, my dad, he would have been, I think, in his late 70s at that stage. But he was also tons of fun. And he was always like, do it in front of me. Let's have it. Give me a pull of that. And then he's like, sure, I feel drunk and I haven't had a drink yet. You know, so that was cuck funny. Petsu Film Crew says, haha, I'm not a pothead. Have aggressive genetic arthritis with no cure. Sure, after 3 years of increasing pain, actually hemp seed or oil infused with Demodaca started working for a few months back. Okay, well, I'm glad you found something that works. Sure. So that's not fun. Is your genetic arthritis, so it wasn't caused by injury? Sure. No, I tell you, we take our bodies so for granted. And I'm sure, I mean, we're laughing about it now, like the whole drug thing, but I'm sure there are people out there who have done stuff and it has not worked out for them. Not at all. So I'm not promoting anything. You choose your own life, you choose your own path. I'm just reminiscing. So yeah. Yeah, anything else you guys want to share about a first memory you remember? Maybe like the first time you hated something as a kid and then enjoyed it. I remember mine was Evo. Like I used to think Evo, ew, that's disgusting. And then I remember having it like on challah, which is like a beautiful white baked Jewish bread with butter. Like you toast it and you have it with butter and Evo, bashed, smushed Evo and salt and pepper. Yummy, 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 yummy. Or like the first time you ever ate like something weird like a snail or a crab or something totally like hectic and you liked it or you didn't. Yeah, well, I loved taking them outside. We took and played hide and seek. All right, I missed that, I think.
Parents.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, there's so many awesome things, and this too will pass. It has to. I'm definitely not gonna allow this nonsense to continue. Like, or maybe they just say it will continue. I just don't want to feel like I'm in China. I don't want to feel like really I'm in China, like with masks for the rest of our natural lives. Just not cricket, people, not cricket. Elizabeth says I'm scared from Herzogies. What are Herzogies? I don't know what Herzogies are. Choosing a destination and walking through it, the tour, the Inca Trail. Oh wow. Oh yes, Machu Picchu. Yes, is that one I want to go? It's on my bucket list. I think I spoke about it in my other stream. Like things to do. Like the first time I went overseas, that was amazing. Where did I go? Well, we went to Zimbabwe, but that doesn't really. Well, it was already Zimbabwe. Visited my family, and then we went to the UK, and I went to Israel. No, it's amazing going to traveling. I think traveling is definitely something that's very, very underrated. Yeah. So yeah. Errol says Mulva pudding. You love it. Okay, and you hated it as a kid. Yeah, no. Like I think beetroot was another one of mine. I was like, yo, no beetroot. Now I love it. And asparagus. Oh, and artichokes. Yummy. A hertzoggie, also known in Afrikaans as a hertzogwach. Oh, those are those cookie things. Oh, yes. I know. I think Melissa and I had some the one day. I'm not a big cookie and cake person, I must be honest, but yes, or in English as a Herzog cookie, is jam-filled tartlet or cookie with coconut topping commonly served with a cup-like pastry base. Ooh, sounds yummy. Herzoggie is for munchies. Betsy from Gruel, choke. Jeannie, yeah, they're very lekker. Okay, I'm thinking of just the loop, not the pretzel, but the flat one with sugar on it. I think, is that one of them? Could it be? So yeah, I hope I've able to unlock the subconscious this evening and to remember a few things. Oh yes, I was also remembering. Oh, so today I was driving and I definitely needed some magnesium or salt in my body because I'm driving along and the next thing I feel this incredible spasm in my lower calf. Oh my god, like I literally wished my 15-year-old could have driven then. So I had to like pull off on the side of the road and start stretching and think, okay, I've got another 10 minutes to get home, let me get there. Or like when it happens during sex, like you in the action and the next thing there your toes go and you're like, oh, and everyone's like, stop. Cramp. Yeah, no, shoo. So keep that salt intake up, people. Yes, and it also used to happen like you've gone out on a night drinking and dancing, and you're sleeping lekker, everything's great, and all of a sudden, chazash, and then your calf twists or some muscle twists, and you literally, the only way to handle it, and you obviously don't want to wake your partner or someone sleeping with you in a room. Yeah, this cock is rarig. This cock's like I stand up immediately and I'm like, push it out. Oh no, it's yeah, no, it's too funny. It's just the body and how things work and yeah. So everyone's hungry now. No, we're on diet. Show Ruth those spasms are symptoms of dehydration. Okay, Jeannie, thank you. Not from salt. Don't you need salt as well? probably, I haven't been, it was probably all the whiskey last night that also contributed it. Um, Kate says you're awesome. Thank you, lovely lady. Thank you. Yeah, no, the foot on cold sore and stretching up, but it's just so funny when it happens. And your electrolyte magnesium water intake. No, I came home straight away and took a slow mag because and also last night I didn't sleep so well. I just like woke up in the middle of the night and I saw them mozzies, but I've got to get my fan in my room fixed. There's a loose wire that needs TG. Need to get those pliers, meneer. Fix that wire. But yeah, don't eat much. Don't have funny cramps. But all right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, Jeannie. Thank you, Petsu, Film Crew, Kat, Elizabeth, Melissa, Rosemary, Avril. Yeah, it's been fun. And have a great Wednesday, a wonderful Wednesday. And hope to maybe see you on Thursday. Yeah, I'll see you then. Okay. TTFN. Be well.